good morning, West Ham fans. Is it a case of return of the folk? Here it is. Yes, everybody, us on the West Ham Network. Hope you're all safe and well. Happy Thursday. And you know what it is? You know what day it is to you lucky buggers. It's Julen Lopetegui press conference day. Da-da-da-da, da-da-da-da. And it's the return, yes, of Premier League football, but it's the return of the for sure counter and also the debut. I'm spoiling you today of the focus counter. We'll be bringing all that's said in the Julen Lopetegui press conference immediately after the press conference. You don't have to sit there and watch it and wait and sit there for 20 minutes waiting for the ads to happen and then try to understand what he says and can't hear the journalists anyway. We can make sure you get what's been said. And I'm sure there's going to be questions about his tightrope tenure, I'm calling it at the moment, with reports late afternoon yesterday that from Jacob Steinberg, that apparently, obviously, we think there is this sort of two-game sort of, he's got Newcastle and Arsenal game, but heavy defeat against Newcastle could force West Ham hand in terms of dismissal of Julen Lopetegui. And, apparently the international break was used as a planning session, almost like, a cabinet meeting, plan A, plan B, plan C for various eventualities, doing internal checks and internal discussions on a shortlist of about 4 or 5 managers / head coaches. I mean, there's a belief that he could still turn it around because there must be a belief, otherwise he would have potentially been gone by now. And so we'll wait and see. But obviously, Callum Bloody Wilson's going to probably be back for Newcastle. 6 months he ain't played for Newcastle. West Ham turning up. He's going to fucking turn up and he's going to score. But there's also going to be questions, I imagine, about this gentleman. No, I can never do it right. This gentleman. That's it. This gentleman here. The Folk. Could the Folk return? Now, the reason why there's a question mark is, Florian Plettenberg, as we know, Sky Sports Germany journalist, friend to Tim Steidlen, he took to X to say that the player will be back on the pitch within days. He was quoted in saying his Achilles tendon injury is persistent, but he is expected to return to the pitch in the coming days and should be back in the squad after the international break. Now, the reason why it's question mark is because we were led to be believed he weren't going to be back until the end of the year. And if we saw him in January, if we saw him at all, with reports that they might cut their losses with Nicholas in January for a return back to his homeland. Now, and again, the whole sort of is not settled in, it makes sense. He hasn't settled into the UK yet. He's spending a lot of time in Germany getting treatment. And, if he'd not get injured, hit the ground running, got himself half a dozen goals already this season, I'm sure he would be. I mean, look, he's smiling. Look at him there. I can't do it right. Look at him there. He's smiling, doing the crossed hammers. So it is a bit surprising that this has come out, particularly. But then Florian, we know who his connections are at West Ham. Also, he's got, I imagine Nicholas will be in his Rolodeck as well of contacts. But again, that it is the thing was there was never a time frame put on his return. The type of injury, there was no time frame really, and it may have been persistent, but maybe it's not going to get any worse. Maybe it is going to be, injections and stuff for him to play. Maybe the operation is too far gone or not far enough to have an operation. I don't know, but it's quite strange how it's just that sort of message was dropped, and to say that within days. I mean, more likely the Arsenal game potentially. I'd say if you're looking at a potential return, but within days, Monday is days. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens. But I'm sure there's going to be questions asked of his availability. and we'll get it from the horse's mouth, so to speak, in terms of Julen Lopetegui, in terms of when we're likely to see him back. No doubt that's going to be a question, but that's what Florian said, and we'll wait and see. We shall wait and see. As I said, we'll be doing the Lopetegui press conference sort of synopsis review immediately after it, so you don't have to sit there and watch all those ads for all the shirts, and then Tommy's killer and Jimmy doing the recovery video and all that. You don't have to watch any of that. We've seen Edson welcome his Mexican counterpart in that pub several times already. So don't have to watch that. You can watch us later on. And then Hammer's headlines. There is a lot of rumours starting to come along, my friends. I do apologise, but we are 6 weeks away from the end of the year. So January's coming in, and it does seem that we might be having some money available potentially. I keep doing it wrong. Potentially as a replacement for him, or maybe as even complimentary of him in a need of. We know we need some more firepower. That's for sure. But yeah, lots of names we've been linked to already, and I might even have to start the tally sooner rather than later. But as I said, join us later on for the focus and for the for Short Canter. And actually, talking about players, now I can do this one straight up. Alloy Collectors, they've got their Black Friday deal. It's 20% off the entire site, and then the more you buy, the more discounts. I think it's 2, you get 25% off. 3, you get 30% off. And also within West Ham, and I imagine for the others, you could already get the names put on the back of the shirt already. So you can get Nicholas Fullkrug if you want, or Luis Guilherme, or Palmere, or it's actually Emerson, but I get to telling you it's Emerson, or Lucas Paqueta. So you can get the names rather than you have to do it yourself. As I said, really useful, like Secret Santa present, rather than some socks or a mug. Actually, if you do want to buy a mug, I think I've got about 3 left. Just drop me a message. Anyway, take care, stay safe, stay warm, stay humble, keep the faith. Come on, you bloody, bloody, bloody irons. Irons!